Right, this is a quick road test video. This is for a Honda Civic, and it's the 2.2 DTEC diesel engined EX model. This particular car is registered NU12SYA, and the mileage at the start of this brief road test is 69,498 miles. The reason for the road tests is so customers get to see the cars prior to coming to see us. That way I can relay back any information about the car, good, bad or otherwise, and I am critical of the vehicles, as I say in all my videos. There's something not quite right, you get to know about it. Also worth pointing out that the videos are done on the same roads just outside our premises, so should be completely representative of what you should feel yourself, and it's done on the same test drive route where any prospective buyer will be going. It's quite challenging routes in the sense that there's some quite bumpy roads, which is quite good because it picks up any issues there might be with the car. The car's been very well serviced, as you know from the walk around video, and it's just gone through the workshops. It's in very, very fine order actually, as you'd expect given kind of the predominantly sort of Honda did all the initial servicing on the vehicle. Worth pointing out, having spent many years working in Bristol where test driving was an absolute nightmare for customers, it is now 2 minutes to 9 in the morning, so this should in theory be rush hour. This gives you an indication of just how quiet the roads are around here, so it is so much nicer for our customers that when you come and drive the car, all you've got to do is concentrate on the drive of the vehicle and the nice quiet roads ahead, rather than sort of rush hour traffic and horrendously busy traffic in the city centres. So starting on the car, going around the car for you, engine first, starts absolutely instantly. They're lovely units, these 2.2s. This is a really well looked after one. It feels very smooth, very quiet. There's no strange noises at all. Far less relevant in the DTEC versions. The earlier CTDI engines had sort of pulley noises, which were quite normal, but not everyone took to it. But this is a really fabulous unit. There's no warning lights on the dashboard relating to the engine or any other part of the car actually. But the unit itself is very smooth revving, pulls very hard from low down. I've got a 1.6 diesel myself, and it's just noticeable how much extra low down grunt the 2.2 has. So that's the only criticism I've got of my 1.6 is, you know, it's fine with one person on board, but as soon as you put the whole family in a bit of luggage, you get more noticeable turbo lag, where it's just struggling a little bit at low revs, and it's slightly noisier. Between 1,000 and 2,000 RPM, it's got more of a sort of grumble to it, whereas this is very, very, very smooth indeed. Engine is honestly absolutely perfect, it really is. Likewise, the clutch bites absolutely beautifully. It's very smooth in operation, so the bite point's exactly where it wants to be on the clutch pedal travel as well. So all in very, very good order. Again, a much, much, much tougher clutch system than on the last generation Civics. Clutch feeds into the 6-speed gearbox, another really wonderful Honda gearbox of course. No wear in it at all. I cannot detect an ounce of wear in the linkage of the gearboxes. It's worth pointing out that, you know, we only buy our Hondas with very, very, very good and comprehensive service histories. There's a good reason for that. The build quality of these cars is such that it's very hard. You could jump in one which has done 150,000 miles and it'd feel very much like this, but if it hasn't got a service history and it's got a low mileage, you know, you've got to ask yourself the question. But this one, as I said, you know, the engine, clutch and gearbox absolutely brilliant. You know, what's harder to get across on the video is just how nicely that all comes together, because it's such a nice, easy, smooth but really rewarding car to drive. Not left floundering with a lack of power. It's very, very, very quiet once you're up and running. You can hardly hear the engine at all. But it is a great unit. brilliantly reliable, you know, by a country mile, and I mean that. You know, the most reliable engine in its class by just by an eternity. But it's also a really lovely engine to sit behind. It'd be all fine and dandy if it was reliable, but it's a dreadful engine to sit there and use. It isn't. It's one of the very, very finest. Brakes on the car, got a lovely solid brake pedal on the vehicle. There's no vibrations or pulsing on the brake pedal itself. And when you hit the brakes hard, the nose squats down nice and hard as well. So I'm just going to check the cruise control function, which works exactly as it should, which is good. Car tracks absolutely bullet straight. There's no vibrations at all through the steering wheel, and again, not an ounce of wear in it. There's nothing. And likewise, the same with the suspension of the car. It's very, very, very smooth riding, certainly by comparison to the last generation Civic, which I always liked, but it was obviously a bit firmer, a bit harsher. But the Civic here has got it's got a real compliance about it. Only the sharpest ridges captured out, as they would with any car. But this is in really, really fine order. You just tell as soon as you get in the car that it just feels very crisp, very tight. Just, you know, clearly Honda kept on top of the car, but they are beautifully, beautifully made. When I'm also driving the car, even though they can feel tight, you know, sometimes you do get the occasional little sort of thump or rattle from underneath the vehicle. Not unsafe, it just means that you might have a bit of wear in a strut or a drop link or anti-roll bar link or a bush or something, and but it makes the car just feel old. I hate that. But this just feels, you know, it just, I hate to say it, but it is cliche, but it does feel just like just sitting in a new one. It's just got that incredible tightness about it. Also very quiet indeed. Cruising along here at the legal limit, it's just, you know, very, very, very serene. Again, much quieter than the previous generation, which was already actually quite a quiet car. Also, that suggests that all the door seals are in very good order. Occasionally, if one gets skagged, you might find a kind of annoying wind hiss, which can really frustrate in a car as quiet as this. Looking around inside the car, I mean, I love the interiors of these cars. They're very, very, very comfortable to drive. We've got a beautiful field of vision out the front of the car. All in really nice order, just tiny, tiny signs of wear inside the vehicle, but I mean, I'm talking, you know, very, very minor indeed. The seats are all in really good order. Virtually all the plastics on the dashboard. The only mark is a tiny little mark there, which you could probably polish it out or sort of do something. But I mean, I've been really, really, really nitpicking. So don't think, you know, there's anything untoward. It isn't. You know, I like to tell it as it is. But the dashboard itself, there's absolutely no squeaks or groans or creaks from it, which you wouldn't expect on a Honda. But they are just, you know, the build quality is genuinely exceptional. Obviously, being an EX model, we're looking at a very high specification car. So on the dashboard, you get this lovely, big, simple and easy to use sat-nav system, which incorporates a CD player. It's all touch screen, so it's very easy to operate. Probably easier and more manageable than the previous generations as well. Below that, very, very high quality controls for the dual zone climate control. That's a really lovely feature. You can do it kind of side to side. Heated seats, which I've been testing as we've been driving along, work absolutely beautifully as well. But my favourite part is this part in front of me, this wonderful two-tier dashboard, where you've got this high-up display giving me my speed. So as I look at the car in front, Honda FRV of my neighbours, funnily enough. It's not really, but there we are. Well, it is, but it's not funny enough. But anyway, I can see that car in front, but out of the corner of my eye, my peripheral vision, whatever you want to call it, I can clearly see the speed I'm doing, so I can concentrate on the cars ahead and the traffic, pedestrians, cyclists, whatever happens to be. But I can see my speed. You know, we're all worried about getting speeding points and everything these days, and rightly so. But unfortunately, I think that's, you know, as much as they're there for safety, it does mean people are taking the head stooping their heads down and looking at speedos, trying to get their speed, their speed, and they can't. Can't concentrate on two things at once. This is just such a brilliant but clever system. All dials working absolutely beautifully. Temperature gauge running at a third, which is exactly where you want it to be on a Honda car. The main binnacle's dead easy to read there as well. Auto lights, auto wipers on the car, front fog lights. Then you've got some multi-function steering wheel with a sort of myriad of controls. We've got obviously information display and radio controls, audio controls, hands-free functions further down as well. But it all works absolutely beautifully. And on the dashboard here, we've got this new textured plastics, much sort of soft feel, very, very high quality. They basically nicked it out of the previous generation Honda Accord, which was always a beautifully made car, and this just adds us that feeling of solidity about the vehicle. But anyway, the video was to try and pick up anything that I knew there wasn't before I did the video, but that isn't to say that I wouldn't mention something. I always do. But if you come to drive the car, you become to drive a really lovely example of one of these very, very, very fine cars. Clearly, if I've missed anything on the video, do give us a call, and I'll happily answer any questions you may well have.